Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now this is a 7-year-old GTX 470, a once high-end card that Guru 3D called very spicy, and a card that would have set you back at least $350 at the turn of the decade. These days though, I found this KFA 2 version, known as Galaxy to you guys in the States, for just £8 Great British pounds, the equivalent of $10 US. An absolute steal considering this card supports DirectX 11 and should therefore support any modern game that you want to throw at it. Unlike the reference model, this aftermarket KFA 2 cooler on this thing allows for better cooling and quieter operation, and I think it looks pretty cool too. Aside from that, things remain unchanged. You get 448 CUDA cores, 1.28GB of GDDR5 VRAM and a 625MHz clock speed. Let's not forget the minimum 550W PSU requirement either, which is why I kept a safe distance when installing it in my i5 system with a 550W Corsair PSU. After all, I didn't want to end up with another dead graphics card like our poor friend here. When we did fire it up though, the card emitted a nice blue light which not only matched my case fan, but the CPU cooler's light as well, a nice bonus if you like things to match. But enough about the aesthetics, we want to see if this thing can still game, and to do so, I've lined up a few popular titles which we will expand on when I stick this thing in a budget build for the next video. So let's get into it. First up we tried Project Cars, a great racing title with some fantastic visuals to match, and I was surprised to see that the game defaulted to the high settings, which in turn granted us an average of 38 frames per second. I didn't change or customise any other settings and left things on default throughout this video. 1080p was also the standard resolution for every game tested, not a bad start for our 7-year-old card. Witcher 3 next, and it was no surprise the game defaulted to low on both the graphical and post-processing settings. In my opinion it still looks great, and I couldn't really turn things up any higher, as even medium proved problematic for this GPU. You may notice some stuttering here and there, which was more apparent during heated combat moments, but just exploring the vast environments yielded no real issues. Metro Last Light now with the high settings to return what was the most surprising result so far. Although a great looking game, I'm often surprised as to which hardware can run it, and the GTX 470 is no exception. 46 was the figure here, with gameplay remaining smooth throughout our hour gameplay period across a few different levels to test. Judging by performance here, you're probably looking at a GTX 750 as a modern equivalent, which would still cost more than I paid for this, although I know I got lucky with the price. As for Overwatch, that ran at medium with 100% scaling and nothing else changed, although some noticeable slowdown was present which could be remedied by switching to low. And finally, City Skylines at Ultra averaged 35, but as you can see when I zoom right into the map, that does drop to 30, again something that could be sorted by changing those graphical settings. But I wanted to push this thing gameplay wise, as it's always nice to see how high we can go. So that just about does it for today's video. I will be testing more games with this when I stick it in a budget PC build sometime this week, as I haven't done a full PC build video in a while. As for my impressions of this card so far, at the price I paid there's no argument as to whether or not it's worth buying, and anything up to $40 or $50 or pounds would be respectable. Just remember that a used 750 can likely be found for around that, which would provide similar performance with newer features. With all that said though, I think this is probably one of the best bargains I've seen in a while, especially as it also came with a 2-year warranty, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. So if you did, be sure to leave a like on the video. If you didn't, be sure to leave a dislike, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and guys, hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.